Also the counties. It's in South Liberia with your host, Morris Desmond from Mondays to Fridays, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Kia 95.9 FM. You dare not miss it. Every day, there are issues happening around us that tend to shape the destiny of our country and our lives. However, are you impressed with those issues and their impacts? Join Insights Library 95.9 FM, and even informative and interactive, thought-provoking and stimulating political talk show that digs deep into the political, social, economic, and developmental issues and background for you of accurate, balanced, and credible analysis as well as reports from across the counties. It's Inside Liberia with your host, Morris Desmond from Mondays to Fridays, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Kia 95.9 FM. You dare not miss it. Every day, there are issues happening around us that tend to shape the destiny of our country and our lives. However, are you impressed with those issues and their impacts? Join Insights Library on Kia 95.9 FM and even informative, thought-provoking and stimulating political talk show that digs deep into the political, social, economic, and developmental issues and unpack them for you with accurate, balanced, and credible analysis as well as reports from across the countries. It's Inside Liberia with your host, Morris Desmond from Mondays to Fridays, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Kia 95.9 FM. You dare not miss it.
Another wonderful, wonderful afternoon. Of course, in the nation's capital, Monrovia. And of course, we're beaming live from Central Monrovia, right on the UN Drive, where our studios is bringing programs of information, education, as well as entertainment. But by this time, it's time to inform you. And if you are catching up with our dial, 95.9, of course, then you are at the right place at the right time. We can talk Liberia right here. And that is why we are number one. And of course, it's Inside Liberia. It comes your way every weekday from Monday to Friday. From 4 to 6, and on Wednesdays and Friday from 4 to 5:30. Yeah, so it's good to be here. And if you are there, well, it's good to follow us. Those of you that intend to follow us via the social media, so you can follow us on our live feed. It's Kia Communications Network. Kia Communications Network, and you will not regret it. You will not regret it at all. So follow us on Kia Communications Network, and we are live right now. So until 6 o'clock this evening, we've packed all of the issues for you. We'll talk about the organization, then we'll talk about the foundation first. We'll tell you all you need to know about the foundation. Then we'll open the lines and have interactions with you to tell us your assessment of what is about to hit Liberia in terms of the Care Humanitarian Foundation. And the wave of the foundation is already blowing across the country. There are some who are feeling the impact and the full impactation of what this organization and foundation is able to do for them. So yeah, so we'll talk about it, and we'll open the line for you, have few interactions. Then later on in the segment 2 of the show, then we'll talk about the rolling issues in our country politics, talking about our country in a more positive ways. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So until 5, up to 6 o'clock, you're in safe hands. Let's roll. Let's recognize few persons that are with us right on our live feed. So Mr. William W. Wulu. William W. Wulu, he said the Liberia Civil Rights Movement Office spokesperson is following. Thank you so much, Mr. William W. Wulu. Also have my good friend and brother Ruben Kane. He's also following from Ghana. Yeah, so Ruben is following. Yes, he did not put where he's following from, but I know he's following us from Ghana. Ruben, hope you're doing perfect and wonderful this afternoon. A good friend and brother. Mr. William Wulu, thank you so much for always following us as well. That shows that you have interest in some of the things we discuss here. And we're hoping that you can take, most of you can take interest in listening to some of the programs here at the Kia Communications Network, a brand new station, but of course, it seems as though we've been operating for more than 10 years now, because we are so much all into the communities. People are all talking about us. Just yesterday, I was after I left from work, I went home, and somebody was telling me, I mean, we had a station on a speaker in Broadview. Wow, that was good. So I hope the group of people who had the station on speaker while I was on the radio will do the same on today. Yeah, we'll do the same today. And you too can share the video. Those of you following us live on our live feed can share the video. Let others join in. So my name is Morris Desmond Brown. Of course, I'm here until 6 o'clock this evening. And I'm not alone. George Gued is here. He is my producer. And of course, we can do better than this. Yeah, today we're not going around the world to take world news. Yeah. Tomorrow, we are hoping we can do that. So, yeah, so we are definitely just going to dive into talking about the Kia Humanitarian Foundation, what it's doing for the Liberian people, what do you expect? And maybe you'll have some questions, inquiry, whatever. But after my explanation, of course, you'll definitely have some questions you want to ask. And we'll give you the opportunity to ask those questions. We'll jot them down. And later on, we'll pass it to the proper authority, and they will definitely deal with some of those issues because they are listening actually. So we'll talk about all of the issues. So then we'll come later on to talk about politics. But again, before we do that, our hearts are with the people of Nimba County District number 7 for the loss of 2 of their sons who work directly in the office of Representative Musa Hassan Belete. Our hearts are with you. This is a crucial time in your life to lose 2 of your staff in your office. So it is a pity, and we empathize and sympathize with you. So yeah, your prayer should be with the representative of district number 7 in Nimba County, Honorable Musa Hassan Belete. Yeah, so of course we're not going around the world. We're not going around to get bit and pieces of news today. So we are sorry about that. A lot of people say they love that segment of the show. Yeah, so it's good. But yeah, we come to talk the organization. We come to talk the foundation. Welcome, folks. And today is August 27th. I hope I'm getting the date straight. Let me make sure. Let me make sure. Yeah, today is Tuesday, and it is the 27th day of the month of August. And just for educational purpose, you do not say August 27th. You do not add the th when the 27th, when the month comes before the number. Okay, let's go back over it so that we all can understand. And let me also recognize KK Mayo Son Kaba. KK Mayo Son Kaba is also following us from the United States, the United Kingdom, sorry, is following us from the UK, London. Thank you so much. Please share the video. And Keke Mayo Son Kaba is following us from the United Kingdom. That is the UK. The British man is following us. Thank you so much. Please leave your comments, your suggestions, those things that you think are necessary for our country. Just leave them on the live feed and I will read them out. Your comments are very, very necessary. Very, very, very necessary. So, yeah. What was I saying? Okay, so for educational purpose, you cannot say August 27th. You cannot add the th when the month comes before, or when you mention the month before the date. So you can add the th 27th, th, when you are calling the date before the month. So you can say the 27th day of the month of August 2024. If you're calling the month before the date, that means you say August 27th. So you don't add a th there once the month is called before the date. Okay, good. So that is just for educational purpose. Let's move on. Um, you know, this radio station, um, for the short time, has been passing on very great information. But there is a brain, or there are people behind the station. Talk about the supporters or the flag bearers, the people who initiated this particular dream. And this radio station is being birthed by a foundation. A foundation birthed this radio station, Care Communications Network, Care Radio 95.9, is owned and operated is owned and operated by the Care Humanitarian Foundation. Why am I so much particular and continue to press on what I'm doing? Is because the radio station is a subset of the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is the Care Humanitarian Foundation. So this station is owned and operated by the Care Humanitarian Foundation. So again, we are situated right on the UN Drive, opposite the barracks, the BTC barrack, and we are adjacent. There is a difference between opposite and adjacent. Some people get them mixed up, but they're two distinct, things. They are different. So we are just adjacent the Rallytown market. When you're start with something that's adjacent, when that thing is before you, with a stretch of distance, is what you call opposite. So we broadcast on the assigned frequency of 95.9, And so how did this dream start? How did the Care Humanitarian Foundation begin a foundation? How did the dream come about? Who is the flag bearer? Who are the progenitors? Who are the people behind the dream? This foundation came on the back of a son of the soil, a sailor, very, very compassionate, and he's no one else but Mr. Christopher Kier. Mr. Christopher Kier is a Southeasterner. He's from the Southeast, and he grew up with his parents. His mother was a gardener and a farmer. Grew different varieties of things, mixed cropping she did. And his father, an educator, a man who believed in educating and molding the minds of many. And so Mr. Kier's family has been a blessing to where his parents, settled. Because the father was giving back to the community by teaching. And, I always tell people educators are different kind of people. You may see them like, oh yeah, they're taking pay, but how much is what they're giving them compared to what they're giving out? So a teacher is giving out more and getting less. So that is why the teaching job is also an humanitarian job. It is a job of humanity. It is a job of humanity. Okay, all right. So KK Mayo Son Kabase, I'm following from the United Kingdom, that is the UK, that's London. Yeah, the British now. So teachers get less and give out more. That was how Mr. Kier's father, Christopher Kier's father, impacted lives of many. Hinged upon those things he saw his parents doing, coupled with the harsh economic conditions that he might have gone through while going to school, he grew up with a mindset. Sometimes when things happen, it didn't happen overnight. Like all of us here, we may have plans. We say to ourselves, yeah, when I get money, I will establish this, I will establish that, I will do this. Like me now, right? My biggest dream is to have my own institution. That is my own school. That is the dream that I have. Why am I not executing it now? Is because I do not have the hands, financial might to have the school, of my own. Me, though. So now that I've written that dream down, it's secure. Until I'm called to rest, that dream become a working tool for me until the day God ready to call me. So the moment I hit the jackpot, the day I hit the jackpot, I will establish the school. Well, that's my dream. Okay, good. So Mr. Christopher Kier had this dream, and that dream is to say, I am going to impact lives. With the way I see my parents, they reared me so, good, even though they didn't have all that we wanted to, to have us brought out the rich way. But the little they had, they spent it so that I could have good education. And I saw the way they struggled to do that. I know when I grow up and I become man, I know from that time of his youth, he's been planning this. I've not had this conversation with him on when did the dream pop up, but I know directly that the dream pop up from, from his youthful age until he became a full-fledged man. And after which he thought to himself that I will have a foundation, and that foundation will give back to the Liberian people. And so Mr. Christopher Kia grew up like any other Liberian child, then grew up to a man, went through all of the war, Hulu Balu, and whatsoever. Later on, he fled to Ghana, on the camp, Bujumbura camp, where he was there, and he then enrolled in the repatriation program they had. And later on, God is always faithful. God is always faithful. Faithfully and reliably, relying on God's blessing, Mr. Christopher Care was selected, and he benefited from the repatriation. He then went to the United States. While he was in the United States, he was not there merit making. He was focused because his dream might have scared him. He said to himself, I have a very big dream. No, I was coming up as a young man. I said, I wanted to be this, I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that. Like any young man growing up, you want to be like me. I was growing up. At a certain point in time, my parents can bear witness to this. At a certain point in time, I will look for steak, the ordinary steak, I would tie cloth and it would be big like a microphone. And I'll go before the dresser, educating the dresser, and I will be talking. Sometimes my mom will open the door, and see me. She's like, what is happening? But it means that I planned to have been a journalist from the time I was a child. Even though my parents had issues because they said the fee is not a payable fee. It is not a fee to waste all of your time. But I thought in my mind that I want to give back to Liberia. And the only way I can give back to Liberia is to be a full-fledged journalist. They got a job, we do that humanitarian job. Prisoners then leave from here. They go all in the field looking for news. Sometimes it's dangerous. Jefferson then, it's dangerous. Even some of us, we go looking for the news as well. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous venture. But that is the job we chose. And I know many of them too chose similar path when they were smaller. They thought that they want to be a journalist. So this dream of becoming a journalist did not start when I became a man. So I'm saying this to connect with what I'm telling you. Mr. Christopher Kier's dream of establishing a foundation did not start the moment he hit America. No, it was a dream that he had when he was still a youth, but then he didn't have the money. Now, what makes this man unique is that from the time he was small, he had this dream of having this. The day so money laying in here, he did it. It shows that he is consistent. He's a consistent man. He's not a man who flip-flop. Today he won't do that, the next day he won't do it. No. He's a straightforward man. He believes in doing things the straight way. So the moment he got, the money he wanted to give back and to establish the foundation, boom, the idea formed, everything became money to do it. And then he established the Kia Humanitarian Foundation. This Kia Humanitarian Foundation, what is it into? So Mr. Christopher Kia being the dream and the flag bearer, the man who decides to give back, decided, okay, I'm not just going to have a foundation, but I'm going to inculcate. I will inculcate this foundation with different things. I will have the component that will address the health needs of some of our people in Liberia. I will have a component there that will talk about agriculture. I will have that component. Why am I adding agriculture? I'm adding agriculture because I saw my mother doing agriculture, and she used to get lay $5, $10. She used some of those monies to send me to school. So I'm going to add agriculture because I know how important it is. Imagine if Liberia can only invest. Like the other day I was saying to somebody, I said, listen, all the money we spend on Ministry of uh, uh, agriculture, to buy all those fan jeeps, those BB cars, the ministers, the deputy minister, all of them got the jeeps they have. You see, sometimes you know, if we can reduce some of those spending on those luxury cars and tilt that money towards agriculture. That is to say, in the budget, we have $1 million for bombing. In the budget, we have $1 million for kickback. In the budget, we have $1 million for Bapoli. In the budget, we have $1 million for Maserati. In the budget, we have $1 million for Maggie across the country. 1 million. How many million will we have there per year for agriculture? 15. What are we going to do with 15 million in the budget for agriculture? I mean, we'll come back to talk about. I just want to, open your eyes to something. That 15 million, instead of having the superintendents getting involved into politics and doing political rallies and doing all kinds of things in the counties, we can get them engaged. And to get them engaged is to say, listen, we have in the budget $1 million for agriculture for your county. This money is not going to go in the pockets of senators and representatives or even superintendents. There will be a direct committee that will have oversight. That $1 million will say, okay, Bombing County, because of your soil and because you have this, you will be responsible to grow rice. And Bapolu will give you are responsible to grow plantain. Kemba, you are going to produce for us so arrows. We just want arrows, And you can do maize cropping, you can say pepper, bitter ball, you can do anything. You can all of the country based on the fertility of the soil. You can stipulate it. And you have people supervising what is being produced in those counties. At the end of the year, because we're going to be planting crops based on a yearly basis to say we're harvesting at this time and we'll have an agricultural fair. That agricultural fair will see into it that all of the counties will bring their produce. To bring what they have produced over the year, we'll look at it. We'll give the county that produce. We'll give the county that produce a gift. We appreciate them. In that way, Liberia becomes self-sufficient. In that way, Liberia becomes self-sufficient. But that is another thing for another day. It's a very good topic. And I can sit down and write how I see and how I want, the country agricultural sector, to boom. And so Mr. Christopher Kerr said, we have health in this particular arrangement. That's the Care Humanitarian Foundation. We have health. So our people are going through serious crisis in the country. Some have waterborne diseases, airborne diseases. How can we help to minimize these things? I know in that component when he was putting down and putting pen to paper, we have the health component. He was thinking about health-related messages that will be aired on this radio. And health-related messages that will tell people keep the environment clean, do this, how you can prevent the sickness and this, that, awareness, of various diseases, how you can prevent it and other things, and even giving to some medical, institutions in the rural places where it's hard to even get, where women are being taken on, how they call that thing, the chief that used to land in Hamo, right? The women are taken into Hamo to live from one village to another. And before you know it, some of them give back on the road. Some of them, at the end of the day, they die in childbirth. Some of them, they lost the child, in the process because they distant. So in that health component, Mr. Christopher Kerr, they will have a mobile clinic. A mobile clinic is like a clinic moving randomly, can get, people at any time, people who are sick, people who are, into labor and all of those things, you can help manage their situation until you can get to a bigger hospital. So they will have the experts, even donating medical supplies, to some hospitals in the rural areas and other places. This Care Humanitarian Foundation is not a Moria-based foundation. So let me just make that one clear. This Care Humanitarian Foundation, it is not a Moria-based organization. It is an international organization and a nationwide organization. That is, their presence will be felt in Myanmar. The presence of this foundation will be felt in Grand-Bassam, all the 15 countries. Though it will not happen automatically, it is a process. It is not an event. It will happen simultaneously. It will go on. When this country is affected positively, the next country fall in line, and this will depend on our people. And that is why we're encouraging all of our people. Yeah. So all of our people, the general, I intro the general already, but don't worry, your segment coming where I'm coming now. Oh my God. Yeah. So your segment coming where I'm coming, recognize you and all of those things. So we have a little power outage, but we're back. Yeah. So let me say good afternoon to my boss man, Mr. Kishen. Hope you're doing great. Hope you're doing great. Hope you're doing great there in the United States of America. Hope you're doing perfect. Yeah. Hope you're doing wonderful. So he's part of the team. He's one of our bosses. And of course, he's there working along with the CEO. I just wishing to the place where I'll be able to recognize all of them, and we'll be able to talk some of the things. But again, in that clinic, mobile clinic, helping some medical institutions, some hospitals, clinics, giving support to them. Yeah, Mr. Kishen says, good afternoon, Desmond. Hi, Desmond. Thanks so much, sir, and I appreciate it so much. You are a powerful man, very, very powerful. Powerful general. That's why I like calling general. I love to see the man doing his live video. You will need to record that story you were saying in the car, about the pastor, and I need to listen to that story again. I was enjoying it, but then Bloom and did that finish. So I did not end the story with Mr. Kishen about the pastor and the deacon, everybody. So yeah, so this foundation got the medical, the health aspect. Then because the agriculture sector, is also formed in this particular dream because of the working of his mother. His mother loved agriculture, so he inculcated agriculture into it because he saw his mom, some of the things she do, to help. Then he added education. This foundation, education component in it, this foundation get health, it got agriculture, and the list goes on. Sanitation. Education came in from the background that his father was able to give back to a lot of people. Being an educator is not small thing. I know myself, I'm an educator. I know what we go through to educate people. I know it. It is very tedious. Nobody should tell you teaching job that basically that bread and butter. No. So people face challenging times because they go through every day tussle. First thing to prepare notes, prepare lesson plan, make sure that the students will understand. Too many things. Too many things. Too many things. So again, that is how it is. And so all of these components fall directly under the foundation, the Care Humanitarian Foundation. And this man say, okay, all of these things that I'm about to do in Liberia, I am very sure that to propagate the message of this foundation, I can rely on just ordinary people. I must establish a means of communication so that when the team go to Magibi, for example, while our people are benefiting, they can be talking and saying thank you. They can say thank you, so people can know that there is a particular foundation that is helping our people, and that foundation is the Care Humanitarian Foundation. Now, I know a few of you will have some questions, and some of the questions will range from: is the organization ready now? Is it functional? Yes, the organization is fully functional. We are making interventions in the areas of education. We are making intervention in the area of helping people refurbish their homes. As we speak, there is a family that will soon benefit. When I say soon benefit, the process is already on to refurbish their home and give it to them. They've been having issues with their home, and the CEO and his team, they've decided to refurbish their home, and they'll be giving it. Some families benefited, assorted material food items, doing the 26 bag of rice, oil, onions, and people benefited from these things. These are the least we can just talk about. But there are students right now who will benefit from the scholarship. I saw the other day the people are doing the listing for some of the students that will benefit, some of the communities. It's good. Care Humanitarian Foundation, they're not there foundation at their camp, but the foundation is here to help. The foundation is here to help less fortunate people, people who are orphans, people who lost their relatives, maybe during the war, maybe during the Ebola, maybe before, during the coronavirus. These people will be helped. These kids will be helped. And that is the dream that Mr. Christopher Kier has for this country. That is why we are here, and we must continue to propagate these things to you so that you know exactly. There will be times that will come, not in the too distant future. They will be asking for volunteers. You have to give your services. You got to volunteer. You got to come from your communities. Volunteer in one area, maybe in the health area. Some of you are graduates. Some of you did medicine. You did trainings. You did some things. In the medical field. You know how to triage a patient. All of these things. Your expertise will be needed. Some of you got degree in agriculture. You got training. You got paper. You're going for training in agriculture. Your expertise will be needed. Some of you did something in what? The sanitation aspect, talking about water, safe drinking water, and an environment supposed to be clean. I know in 2015, yes, I did a very intensive training with WHO. They trained us in hygiene and sanitation. We got a certificate. It was a month-long training, and the World Health Organization itself presented that certificate, and I still have it. So all of these things. So you have those certificates, you have those training, you will be needed on board. You will be needed to help. Some of you are teachers. Some of you have the expertise to help. Who knows? Maybe this dream could grow into something else, and before you know it, the CEO may sit down one day and say, "Let's identify a spot. Let's identify somewhere." Maybe he and his team could sit down and say, "Let's identify a place where we can build a school for the less fortunate." Let's build a school and make sure that our kids and kids are in school. Kids who cannot, support themselves, let them come, and we look for sponsors so we can go around the world and be asking people to support these children. While the support they be giving, they be able to help pay the teachers who will be giving their quota to the school. So you see, it's a big dream, and it has already started. You can't be left out. You listen to me. You can't be left out. You must be a part of this dream, and that is the Care Humanitarian Foundation. Pretty soon, the team will be out there. You will see them in their jackets. You see them. They will come to your community. It should not be screened. The foundation already started working, so it is not a screen thing. So let me use this time to hail our CEO, our dynamic, illustrious, hardworking CEO, Mr. Christopher Kier, our foundation president, Mr. George Sibo, Thank you so much to Mr. Kishen as well. He's wonderful. He's a wonderful team player, a very wonderful team player. Thank you so much. All to all of the team, those of you. So we'll be counting on you. Those of you in the UK, those of you in the United States, you can reach out to the team. Like I was saying the other day, schools are about to open. Some parents do not have book bags to even buy for their kids. Some of them have paid school fees. The children going to school, maybe in government school, but they don't even have book bag. They're using the black plastic, the one called Maya Business. They're using Maya Business plastic, to go to school. That why they use bag. I mean, it doesn't take anything if you can contact the team in the United States and say, listen, do you have a goal for me? Do you have, what it takes for me to donate, so that you can help a Liberian child? They will be glad. And they will be glad to make sure that those things will be given to our people down here. It's very important. So we are saying this so that you too can be a part of this dream. Those of you on the social media, get in contact with the team. Get in contact with the team. They are wonderful team out there. Very wonderful. They're fighting, fronting for the Liberian children. They're fronting for our mothers, our fathers, to help them. You know what I mean? For somebody to look at our house, build it, and turn it over to a family, turn it over to families. That's what this man is doing, Mr. Christopher Kier and his team. That's what they're doing. And like we said, in the coming days, these people will come to tell their stories. They will come to tell their stories on how they got they from this man, how they benefited from the goodwill of this foundation, the Care Humanitarian Foundation. So that time will come. It's not in a too distant future. You will see it. So again, hats up to our bosses in the United States. Please, we count on you to help to help a Liberian child getting book bags or so, getting copybooks. Some of them, they go to government school, they don't even get textbooks. They don't even get copybooks to go to school. This is something we are confronted with in Liberia. It is not unique. It is not unique to. It is not just unique to everybody. Every government have had these challenges. Every government have come to power. They have had the challenges of making sure that enough children in Liberia go to school. Do you understand? So that is it. That is it. Um, Josh, 1 minute, please. Josh, you have to come 1 minute. Josh, you have to come 1 minute, please. So that is that. That is that. That is that. We are hopeful that some of you will want to ask some questions. You want to ask some questions. So let's activate the line for you quickly. Maybe you have suggestions, inquiry on the discussion concerning the foundation. Maybe you want to ask some very vital questions, or maybe you just want to have your input on some of the issues we talked about. We're sorry for the sound, please. The WhatsApp number, those of you that are on the social media, you're out of the country. The WhatsApp number is seen right on the screen. It's +231 886 681 198 is the WhatsApp line for those of you outside the country. You can put forth your calls, your comments, and suggestions. Those of you in Liberia, we'll open the lines to have interactions with you on this matter, the issue of the Care Humanitarian Foundation. We'll open the lines and have few interactions. Then we can transition to our next set of conversation. So the lines to call locally is 0772 758958. Maybe you have some questions you want to ask. You have some inquiries, or maybe you just want to commend the team, or you want to say something. You can call us up on 0772 758958 or 0886 393184. 0886 393184 is also the Lone Star number. You can call us and we can directly have conversation with you pertaining to the Kia Humanitarian Foundation. Maybe you have some questions. Those of you outside the country, you want to ask some questions, or maybe you want to say something pertaining this particular conversations we've been having. You can call us up on plus 231-886-681-198 is the WhatsApp line. And locally, you can call us up on 0772-75-8958. 0772 75-8958 or 0886-393184 are the numbers. They both Blue Star and Orange numbers you can call to be a part of the program inside Liberia on Kia Radio 95.9. So we await your call because we transition to talking about the rolling issues later on. Talking about the rolling issues later on, rolling issues in politics. But we are more particular about humanity, and that is why we make the topic of humanity first. On why we have questions, maybe you want to just say something. It is just prudent enough you do that now. Those of you on the WhatsApp, you can on the internet, you can do that too. Plus 231 886 681 is the WhatsApp number. Let me see what it's on. Yes, it is. It's on. Those of you in the country and locally, you can call us up on 0772 758958 0886 Yeah, so that is it. Since we'll be going through our conversation, when you call, we'll take your call. But let's talk about some of the issues in the country. Let's talk about some of the issues in the country. I know NIV. People love politics in this country. You know, excuse me. People love politics in this country to the extent that when you have important topics and important things that impact the lives of people, people are not just they're not concerned. They think they're supposed to be. So the ECOWAS team is in the country, and there are a few things we want to talk about. You know, Liberia, I don't know where we are headed. I don't know where we are headed. Must we be the kind of country to call and come and start settling problems for us? But on the average, just this clarity, the ECOWAS team they've clarified that their being in the country was not necessarily because of the complaint of former President Weah. They've already planned to have come to meet with the current president, Ambassador Joseph Newman Boakai, His Excellency, to commend him for the transition and to have some other conversations with him. Because you know he's the one representing Liberia to ECOWAS. He's the one who represents the country. Every president will represent the country. And so he is the one representing. So then they came to this conversation with him. Different conversations to know what is obtaining in the country, And so, but because they already had a letter before them that was written by the standard bearer of the CDC, so they thought to use one stone to kill two birds. They thought to use what? One stone to kill two birds. So they decided coming and to ascertain the veracity of some of the things that have happened in the country. So they went directly last night. They had a meeting with the former president. Yet to get some of the things that came out of that meeting. But we will play you this interview that was conducted. This interview that was conducted. So we'll play you some of it, and you will listen to what the representatives of ECOWAS had to say. I want you to listen to them very carefully. Listen to them very, very carefully. Uh, uh, I want you to listen to them very carefully. We are looking for the video. Let's try to get it out for you. Yeah. Do this. I want you to listen to what the team had to say after the meeting with former President Weah. Okay, let's see whether we can get it here.
Yes. We'd like to say welcome. Well, you arrived in country today, yesterday, and you had a meeting with the president of the Republic of Liberia. And today you are also meeting former President George Weah at his residence. You care to say what are some of the core issues that were discussed in fostering peace, harmony, and tranquility in our country? Yes, first, we come to congratulate the people of Nigeria on a very important peaceful transition. Um, President on we all consider to be an important transition in Nigeria. And beyond transition, we have nation building, and that requires all kinds of that. And when we talk about all kinds of
George, you need to come. You need to come quickly. George, you need to come quickly. Please look at this computer. It keep running.
we're talking about reconciliation as well. And the power purpose here is to see how best we can support the country in this process of the and I think president is normally presented by a political party that was elected. He or she serves as the president of the entire country. And we had that conversation with President Ouattara, and he has assured us that he will continue to serve as the president of Liberia. And the relationship with
So, just few corrections quickly. The ECOWAS delegation met with President Boakai before meeting President Weah, because I told you earlier that the ECOWAS delegation already had a plan of coming to congratulate the people of Liberia for a peaceful transition. And to be honest, Liberia has peace. And that is why when I saw that thing that day, George, where people were stoning one another, and the animosity and that, grief, grew, I was like, we've made history already. Our country is on the map for democracy. People say Liberia. In fact, people now are referring to Liberia when they're discussing real serious matter in the world. They refer to Liberia as a beacon of democracy. So for us to derail that, and I saw people, throwing rocks, police going help to scatter, police trying to maintain law and order. They have to grab other people, take them to jail. We should not have gotten to that point. We should not have gotten to that point. But the fact that we got to that point, it is also important to note that Liberia has set a very good history. And at the center of this, President Weah played a pivotal role to have conceded defeat even before the final results were announced. This is more than patriotism. A lot of presidents in Africa cannot do it. So that is why the CDC must be able to maintain the peace, because they fought for it. When I said fought for it, they gave up for this peace. And so they must be able to maintain it. They cannot sit down and allow the peace to be derailed by other than the political party, or they contribute to see it being derailed. So the ECOWAS delegation said they met with President Bouaga. President Bouaga said, listen, I will continue to remain president of the country, and I will lead. I'm not president for only Unity Party people. I'm president for even people in the CDC. I'm president for the entire citizenry of the country. And so I will make sure law and orders are maintained. We'll continue to foster the relationship, to have dialogue. So that is where we should be. We should be at the point where dialogue should be the order of the day. We should not be thinking on how to dialogue, to have dialogue sections, the government having a dialoguing moment with the opposition, talking with them on how we can maintain the peace. Let's listen to the ECOWAS delegation. We stay listening to them.
Parties, political stakeholders, and all stakeholders is very important in this. And where there are some misgivings or some concerns, it is ECOWAS's role to look into some of those concerns and to ensure that they do not get in the way of meeting the is critical of these incidents.
Thank you. You just stated that you outlined what the president of the country, President Bouaga, said to you. But again, you just left from a meeting with the former president of the country. I'm sure he outlined some of the things that have been happening since, he turned over power democratically to Mr. Bouaga. And I'm sure he's concerning to ECOWAS. And that's the reason why you're doing this engagement. So what specifically, with everything the former president outlined to you, what specifically is the message you've taken to ECOWAS based on everything the former president outlined to you?
The former president underscored his commitment to peace and security in Liberia, as well as to democracy and democratic consolidation. And he has committed himself to that, and he will do everything to preserve the peace and security of Liberia. And whatever is concerned that threatens the peace and security of Liberia is something for ECHO, something to control ECHO's attention to, and for ECHO's to look at how best we can address. So I think the message we are taking from President Weah is that he stands for peace and security, he stands for accountability, he supports accountable.
Good. We'll continue with the clip. We'll continue because we want to get the meat. So let's, as we go along the way, we see people coming on to watch. We will recognize them. So Tommy S. Cooper is watching us this afternoon, PRC Freeport. Thank you so much, Tommy, and share the video as well. Let others join the broadcast as well. Tommy, thank you so much. Tommy S. Cooper is watching us live from LPRC Freeport. So the meat of this thing is that when ECOWAS met the current president, the president, and let me be honest with all of you, the president of the Republic of Liberia got a mandate, and that mandate is to maintain the peace. That mandate is to oversee what happens in the country. So that the president got a responsibility. That responsibility is to make sure that the country is peaceful. And in order to maintain law and order, there will be some things that will be done. So everybody need to know that law and order, maintenance order will not be very important to everybody. There will come a time the government will have to be rigid. There will be times that the government will be soft. All those things can be inculcated. They can be, something that you can alternate. Today you use the other method, the next day you use the other method. So it can be force every time. It can be softness every time. So the government got to be, because the government now will have to act like twin mother. The government have to sit back and allow the other child suck from here and the other child suck from here. So it's a two-way street. The government can be hard depending on the veracity of the case. The government can also be hard, depending on how the case is, or be soft depending on how the case is. So the president have already said he will continue to maintain the peace. He will continue to maintain law and order in the country, and that is his role. That is his role as president. The president not sit down the play getting lawless or other thing, then the president will not talk. No, but the president will do something. The president have to do something. So, but the way to do it is what we all have to talk about. Because I don't care what we do in this country, we must continue to exercise restraint. We cannot fight one another, destroy the country. Then what do we need for governance? Meaning, who do we govern if we destroy the whole country? If everybody in this country start to fight one another, who to govern who? So the first thing is for us to maintain the peace. We just celebrated 20 some more years of uninterrupted peace. The Accra Peace Accord that was signed in Ghana. Many years have passed. Liberia has been on the track, on the path of recovery. Liberia has been on the map. Countries in the world have been discussing Liberia in a positive ways. They've been giving recognition to Liberia. Our democracy, people are using us as a reference in their countries. I'm talking about African countries. I'm talking about European countries are even recognizing Liberia's, stand for peace. So it's good that the president of the country, the father of the nation, has agreed that he will maintain peace, and maintain the state of ordinance in the country, and further acknowledging that he has a responsibility to maintain law and order. The former president, on the other hand, is also committing his political party. Why am I flagging this, folks? Because it is good for our country. You may not see it good. For some of you who think that violence is just a way out, you just want to see the country in chaos, you don't want to see Liberia or Liberians scatter. We can buy into your chicaneries, we can buy into what you want to see happening. But what we can do is to flag the that will happen in the country. Flag the good things. So it is a good thing for both the current president and the former president to reiterate, to elucidate their stance on maintaining the peace of the country. It is very important. Some of you will not say important now because it is not a news that will say to you tomorrow the police and the CDC will be at the battlefield. Maybe tomorrow now they will not be in Kongota. They will be in Central Monrovia. Then you say, yeah, clapping. Yeah, that's a fair. Let's see who will win. Let me tell you something. They say when two elephants fight, the grass suffers. The grass will suffer, and the grass in this case, literally, it means you, the ordinary people, we, the ordinary people, will suffer. So it is not good for these two people to clash. It's not good for the police and the opposition to clash, because the people will feel the trickle-down effect are the citizens. You saw what happened that day? What happened is that Lone Star Cell could not open because the fight was right before a major GSM provider, communication company that's supposed to provide communication services could not work that day. Do you know how many thousands of US dollars they lose that day? On that particular day, they lose just because that was, you know, there was a confrontation between the police and the CDC. Do you know how much, you know, the company lost? Do you know how much the company lost? Do you know how many persons could not come to work that day? Could not open their business places in town because they could not find easy access to come to town? So saying the good news now that the CDC political leader, former president and Ambassador George M. Weah, has reiterated his stance on medicines. The current president, on the other hand, has also said similarly. Is it not a good news for our country? It is a good news that we all must stand up for. We must commend the two leaders. This is more than laudable. It's more than laudable. It's more than, you know, silver and gold if we have peace. Let me tell you something. People can say, peace. Oh, yeah. You know, peace, eh? Peace is very vital in every country. Today, look at Ukraine. Look at the infrastructure damage that have been caused to Ukraine because of insurrection, because of fighting. War is an agent of destruction. It is that agent that is responsible for destruction because, listen, see our country how it's backward today. It's because of the 14 years of fighting. Because there are some people who do not have the intent, you know, they don't have good intent of fighting. So it's human to human fight, meaning the other group on the other side fighting the other group. Well, other people believe that, say I'm fighting, when I see lepo that get coin wire passing over, let destroy it. Let put fire inside. Today, Liberians should not be suffering for electricity. We are suffering for electricity because of the war. We have 66 or some more megawatt or electricity that was serving the country. What did we do because of the war? Somebody stay and put mortar or whatever, they destroy the hydro. Has it brought our country forward? No. What it has done, it has plunged us back. Our country has retrogressed in terms of development. So every time we have these issues of fight, at the end of the day, our country goes backward. Our country goes backward. Our country goes backward. But many of you do not understand these things. You don't see it. So when we're talking about it, you just say, oh yeah, but they're just talking about it, man, you know. And many of you too, you are not seeing war. You just hear about war, you know, and maybe you go on your television screen, you see two countries fighting, you know, in a movie, you say, yeah, like, hey, if you are seeing war, I was just telling one of my fathers the other day, I say, do you know that during the war, a 10-year-old boy told me to sit down on the floor. A 10-year-old boy having a gun on his back. I can still remember around between Looking Town Cinema and specifically at the Looking Town Cinema. I can still remember. We were leaving from St. Paul Bridge, town, but then law forces have just, you know, recaptured. They've captured that whole Bourgeois Island. So we were leaving for town because our whole place would have been a war zone. So we thought to leave. Having my people burn on my head and we are moving. The boy is telling me, the 10-year-old boy riding cycle. I can still remember. 10 years old, because that boy, I mean, the age is even, I'm putting the age even up. That boy could look, and that boy is looking at me and telling me, come here, you know, and I walked there. My father was afraid, you know, he was screaming, and a little on, he had to say, go there. I mustered the courage and I went there. He said, where are you going? You know, he was in the circle and asking me. So, and so he said, sit down, the guy, you can't be answering me. You can't be talking to me. Then, small, you're not talking to me. You can't be talking to me and be standing up. I sat down with the low on my head. And well, I think one of their female were coming, and then the man said, what are you doing there? And then at the end of the day, he said, woke up and go. So I woke up and I left. He was still riding in a circle. Do we want those kind of humiliation to continue to happen in Liberia? It's just one of the many stories that anybody could explain on how they were humiliated during the war. Do we want to see siblings of these things happening in Liberia? No, we don't want to. Nobody want to experience the thing that we went through in this country in terms of war. So when there are good news of the two very, very powerful people, the former president, the current president, they are powerful people, you know. To be a former president, it's not a small thing. To be a current president, it's not a small thing as well. So they're two powerful people. If they are all giving commitment of maintaining the peace, I think Manala Liberia should be happy that these kind of conversations are and that we can all find our little dry rest, eat, and eat it in peace. Peace is one of the best things any country can have. Today, with all of the money coming, some of you say things prices are high, things prices going up, is because, let me tell you, all of the two countries that are fighting, they got something to contribute to the war. No country is useless on this earth. No country. Today, rice production has reduced drastically because the country that provides fertilizer for rice production is not producing the fertilizer because they're in war. And you're expecting prices to be down? No. It's not about the government that is in power. It's not about the government in power. The government in power can do what they want to do if not put ourselves in check. Like I was talking about agriculture, we're talking about that. If we do not start to do things on our own, if we cannot start taking matters in our hands. Today, rice production is very scarce. Countries are not producing rice the way they should. Fuel oil prices are not stable. They fluctuate every time. There's always time for fluctuation of the thing, or gasoline, fuel oil, because the countries that having the most oil in the world is also at war. And you expect that everything will be okay. Everything can be okay. So it's not about the government. If you're not going to vote for this government and vote for another government, that government would have still experienced similar situation we are in now. Because we do not have monopoly over some of the things that are happening. What is happening is that the world changed. Listen, few years back, when we say we buy restaurant, people say they buy rest for $10, right? I will buy rest $10 for cup. You can't buy rest $10 anymore. You remove the United Party administration now and bring another government, maybe you buy rest even more higher than what you're buying it now. If you bring back the CDC, you will face the same situation you're facing now. I'm not talking about governance. Governance issue is a different ball game. But when it comes to tin prices on the world market, it will not remain the same. Liberia will continue. The only reason why you see sometimes we beat on the doors of this government is because of the mantra, the kinds of things they said to the Liberian people that they would have changed this. The CDC wasn't doing this, the CDC wasn't doing that, they will do them. So when you're not doing it, the Liberian people ask the hard questions. The Liberian people ask the hard questions. And it is incumbent upon the government to respond to the Liberian people, to tell them what is happening. To tell the Liberian people what is happening. So things will not be the same. Nothing in this world will remain the same again like the way it used to be. I remember I bought cookies, the butter cookies. I bought it 8 for $5. When we're coming up, 8 for $5. You know what I mean about the butter cookies now they sell to you for $20 for one. That's more than one they can use the tap, they cut it and bake it. 8 for $5 $20. We bought it. We bought boiled egg. The boiled egg today that we eating for $40 for one, so it was $50. We bought egg $5 for one. One boiled egg $5. All these things we saw then. When we get back to that stage, Liberia cannot go back there. The war is advancing. People used to pay school fees before with a gallon of oil. So schools open, because families, relationship, other thing, put chicken and rice and carry to the point and say, oh, we bring the school fee, chicken, the school fee, chicken and rice. We give it to people and people order it, and their kids are being trained in those schools. We will have that privilege, and then we will have that privilege again. No, the world is changing. Things are getting tough. In fact, things will get tougher than this. I remember Manasali made similar statement when she was almost leaving power. She said, Liberians should brace themselves for what lies ahead of us. And what lies ahead of us is tougher days. And there are tougher days ahead of us, Liberians. And the way to tackle this is for us to be united and go back to the soil. Agriculture is the way out. That is why when you see me all learning all of these things, the battle line is agriculture. The battle line is agriculture. Let me tell you something today. Liberia is not producing rubber the way we used to do, tap the latex, and produce. Even if you're producing the rubber now, it will not give you what you used to have before. It don't have the cash value it had before. Our goal in the country is depleting. Because we have a company that is taking almost all of the gold from the country. Do we see what they're doing with it? No. The B Mountain, they were here during the regime of Manamsali. What did we see? Nothing. The B was here doing the era of former President Weah. Did we see anything? No, nothing. They are here again doing the regime of Ambassador Joseph Newman Bwaka. What will we see? Nothing. We're not seeing anything again. Our gold has been depleted. Our resources are finishing. Liberians are not benefiting from the resources of their country. And you say all of these things should be left untalked about. They should be left untouched. Is that how you would think it's going to work? No. A country. So nothing. And I will say it today, I will say it tomorrow. Recall me and play it any day. Liberia will not be the same. 5 years from now, things will get tougher than what it is now. Nobody should tell you they can come play magic, and that is the thing we'll be saying to you during elections. If some of us are still on the radio, we will be do not listen to rhetorics. All of them are the same. They will not change anything because the world will not change. And that is why they need to come to you with sincerity and stop campaigning on trivialities. The reason why the country is this polarized is because people campaign based on lies. What they can't provide, they tell you they can provide it. When they get to power and they can't provide those things, and the citizens start to stand up, to ask them the hard questions, they become issues. Then you see how the country looks. Some of you do not know that work problem. Now, we can be telling you, some of us will know how Liberia is, we know the problem of Liberia. We can sit down and tell you what Liberia problem is. The country will always be polarized. It will always be politically tense because Liberian law, quick fix solution. Let me tell you Liberian problem. Liberian people, the one when you sit down in power, the moment you stay there 6 months, you should miracle 10% must be done. All the roads in the country must be fixed. Everything must just be okay for them. That's what Liberian people like. Once they start noticing there are slight changes in some things within the first 6 months, forget it. They will also be in the country, and that's what's happening now. Is it that the Unity Party can change all the things happening in the country even in 6 years? No. No government can come and change everything in this country for 6 years. I mean, in the spirit of 6 years. Liberia problem is bigger than just 6 years. Liberia problem is bigger than just 6 years. So nobody should fool you. Nobody should tell you they can perform miracle. They will come, they will take United Party from there, and they will perform the miracle. They will change everything in the country. It's not possible. And that is what we'll be checking out for when we're getting close to the elections. Nobody will come campaign to the Liberian people on trivialities because we know there are certain things that can't change in Liberia. There are certain things that can't change. Nobody can build Liberia massive road infrastructure network in the spirit of even 6 years. You can't make it. The roads are messy. You cannot change the infrastructure, the roads infrastructure in the country in 6 years. It's not possible. And so if you cannot do it, don't say it. Another example can say, oh, politics, politics that game. Politics should be a place, it should be an environment of truth telling. It should be based on truth telling. If the Labempo can see you as a politician who's saying the truth, because you know what the political parties do to themselves? They put themselves under raw pressure. Now, what are the political parties can do? You put under raw pressure. You tell the Labempo, I can do this in such and so time. I can do this in such and so time. You come to power and you can't do it. The Labempo start to ask the hard questions. Then the government is under extreme pressure to produce. So what is it like if we come to the Liberian people and tell them we'll do this, but it will take time? It can't happen overnight. We can't do it in 6 months. We can't do it in 1 year, but it will happen. We'll do it gradually, and we can contain and finish with all the roads problem in the country in 6 years. No government. It must be a continual process. The other government 6 years, they fail road, they fail a few roads they can face. The president, we have faced few roads. The Unity Party face few roads. The next government can face few roads. And before you know it, we will have like 6 successive governments. That's 6 years, 6 years, 6 years, and 6. In 6 plus 6, that's 12. 6 plus 6, that's 12, that's 24. That's 24 plus another 12. So if you have 30 some more years of governance in the country, trust me, if everybody can and fail roads and fail, we can try with fixing the road problem in the country. The one line out right here, Bourgeois Island, it has become a nightmare to almost all of the government. The CDC government did not fix it. Yeah, they maintain it. They kept maintaining, kept putting some laterals. They kept putting some rocks, making sure that it's pliable. But they did not fix it. It became a nightmare for them. In fact, to retrospect, it became a nightmare for even the Unity Party administration doing the stewardship of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. 12 years. That road left there, it could not be fixed. The CDC inherited that same road, they inherited it. They small intervention and left it. The Unity Party is taking over again under the stewardship of Ambassador Bwaka. Let's see whether they will fix it. But as it stands, it is even terrible. It's not even pliable right now. Cars are getting stuck. Cars are getting stuck. Nobody should tell you they can perform miracle for Liberia. Nobody should tell you that. Liberia problem is beyond miracles. We are beyond miracle. We cannot save ourselves in division. We cannot save ourselves in diversities. We can save this country when we are united and we stand together. Forget about politics. Elections are over. People need to wake up and say, elections are over. Let's unite and let's build the country. Building the country, it should not be just the government. And that is the same thing we pushed when the Unity Party was in power. They were in opposition. We pushed them. We told them, you can't be an opposition that will be reactionary. You must be able to help the government with ideas. Where the government cannot reach, be able to reach that. That's what makes you a responsible political institution. So we're saying the same to the CDC. You cannot be a reactionary political party to just be in opposition, but you can start to have your hands where the government can reach. You got to do it. Let the people know you to be a responsible opposition political party. And another thing that we can talk about how we can balance our own conversation. This station pays loyalty to no political institution. This station is owned by a humanitarian. The man not get time for politics to say he for the party, for the other party, he for the other party. He hasn't told me. He hasn't told me that he belongs to a political party. I know he's an humanitarian. He not introduced to my politics. In fact, this station was not even meant to have political show and all the things. Just squarely humanitarian programs and other things. We try to encourage the CEO that politics, is involving, and we have to inform the Liberian people. That's how Liberia is, and the people of Liberia take you, for the information you provide to them. So we had to even convince him on this. He didn't want to do it. So to tell you that he owed loyalty to no political institution. And so it is with heavy heart that we Liberians can be fighting to destroy our own country and be happy. At a certain point in time, people were taking their valid photos, and just putting it all on Facebook. How does it make your country? It make your country irresponsible. Investors will not come. Said it when the former government was in power, the CDC government, that those that were doing it, putting pictures on Facebook, saying the worst about the government, they were crippling the government, and they were not just crippling the government, they were crippling Liberians as well. Because if the government cannot go out there to look for something, look for companies, lend their thoughts on some of the companies to talk to them to come to Liberia. If companies cannot come to give jobs to ordinary Liberians who cannot find food in a day, a square meal, then what are we doing? You think we're doing something good to ourselves? No, then we're not doing anything good to ourselves. I mean, we are running the country down. The current opposition, they should not follow in the steps of other political parties because they just for government, they know, exactly this. Our country needs to develop beyond just this party politics and other things. Our country must develop beyond who owe loyalty to what, who owe loyalty to who. And we should not be owing loyalty to just the country, not just political party or political institutions. Our loyalty should be more to Liberia. Whether you are in the ruling party or you are in opposition, your loyalty should be mostly with Liberia. It's not about oh now my political party and this that. So we can only build this country if we all decide to unite. And the things that we're talking about and talking all the things, it will not get better today. IMF say we'll get a government 290 million or 100 million or 150 million. How does that impact anything? So Liberia will only be out from other people. People donate their money, they go to Liberia take it. You can see what they will do with it. Government come, government go, they do the same old thing. We are so much dependent. That's why we don't make independent decisions in this country. We cannot talk to America hard because talk to America hard, America front their face. It's a problem for the country. We can't take independent decision. America is going to something. We need to support them. Whether it is wrong, we must support them. We have to reach a stage where Liberia must have a voice. And to have a voice as a sovereign nation, you must start to do things on your own. I remember in Ghana, I was watching on television, the Ghanaian government, right? They were the only country in Africa. I'm not saying we should challenge America. No, don't get me wrong. And God forbid, we're not going to challenge America. America is our biggest traditional ally. But I'm saying to you, we must reach a stage that America says should be proud of us and say, yeah, we're sending our money to Liberia, but we see what they're doing. And not every time America will spend on us, and they can't see what we're doing with the money. That is the knowledge that I'm trying to put. We need to stand up to reach a stage where America can be proud of them and knock their chest and say, we are proud of our traditional ally, Liberia. We send this amount and we see the significant work being done. We gotta reach that stage. We'll have to reach that stage. And to do that, our budget was 90% of the budget goes behind recurrent expenditure. Recurrent expenditure means we just go buy goods and services. We buy cars for government officials. We buy scratch cars for them. We're getting gasoline. We're getting everything. We literally pay their girlfriends. We literally pay their nurses at home. The people who cook for them. We literally do all of that for them. What do they do for themselves? Let's start to take some of that money and put it in agriculture. Let's force some of those monies that we have given out to government officials for doing little productivity is low in this country. From government in past to present, the productivity is very low. So you can't have a country where productivity is low and you keep giving the people too much money. We literally pay the people girlfriends. We literally pay their scratch card, getting gasoline. We pay their nurses at home, we pay them for coming to work. I mean, we should start to tilt some of these monies that we have to agriculture. Every county have $1 million in the budget for just agriculture. Is huge. They can start to subcontract some of these NGOs, some of these foundations like Care Humanitarian Foundation. They can start to contact them and say, listen, you are into agriculture, and other things help. We get a small loan, we get so and so, we can give it to you, and now you can impact your people. You can go to this county and have your presence there. You can do this, and that is how the country will get better. They don't want to get better anytime soon, and nobody should think that the United Party government will come play magic. They're not coming play any magic. What the government can do in 6 years is what you will do. You don't do more than what you can do. But we need to start studying on how we move our country from a budget, a recurrent expenditure budget, where we just take goods and services, buy it, pay for water, pay for the one, pay for that one, and the portion that comes to development is so infinitesimal. It's so very small. It's so minute. We can continue to do that. We can continue to suffocate our country, and we think we are helping the country. We're not helping the country. Every country should have a budget now to start culture projects. If we do not have the experts here, and I'm sure we have the experts here, there are a lot of people here graduating from University of Liberia. They did agriculture. They did different fees in agriculture. Agriculture too is another big fee. They did several different things. We can have these experts on board. If not, we can bring people. We can bring people from China. Ask the Chinese, how did your country become self-sufficient? How did you do it? How did the country manage? How can we borrow your style? How can we stop? We should stop it. I know past government, Madam Salih government, the George president, former President George Weah government, and even the government will do the same. They will go and start. So when China said we'll get rest, they will go take a Japan, get rest. I remember Japan gave rest to the government. Should we be taking rest from these people now? No. What should we be asking them for? Say, listen, we do not want. And Liberia need to transcend from that thing about people giving up fish every time. We should now move to how we can fish ourselves. Or we can go on the sea and fish for ourselves and get our own fish. So we need to start telling China and Japan, and that's the conversation our government needs to start having. Telling Japan, say, listen, we know you have rice you want to give us. Can you translate or can you transform or change that rice to equipment? Give us agricultural equipment. Let's start to do our own thing in Liberia. We need your expertise. We need to send some people to Liberia with those equipment to help our people, train them on how we can start building a vibrant agricultural sector. You think that kind of conversation, another kind of conversation our government should be having? Yes. But as soon as China said again, 4 metric ton of rice, say, yeah, bring it. Japan said we got 3. Oh, bring it. We should now be thinking on how we can have a conversation telling the government of those different countries, listen, we have been through a lot. We got a very good store. How can we benefit, to have our people, and that could provide job opportunity for a lot of people. People graduating from University of Liberia, they get work. They graduated with degree in agriculture. They get work to do because the whole country agriculture sector is placing cars, PB jeeps. See agriculture ministry, the jeeps. In fact, there are 2 ministries in Liberia. Don't play with their cars business. The Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Agriculture, and Bakery. Those ministries got cars more than any ministry you can think about. We should see more tractors on different farms. And all these people, you call Zogos and other things, we can renew their minds. We can change. We can take them to those farms. They can work. They can earn money. they can be rehabilitated. They can have a change of mind. We'll have those farms operational. I know before then, somebody one old man was telling me that they used to have what they call government farm, right? They used to have government farms. They used to have government farms. They used to have government farms. So who now let better thing? So we must have that conversation. So we hailed the both leaders, leader from the for the country, our father, His Excellency Ambassador Joseph Newman Boakai, for having a very fruitful meeting with the ECOWAS delegation. We also thank our former president, Ambassador George Mweya, for having a very fruitful conversation with the ECOWAS delegation. These conversations will help pave a way for a new Liberia. Let's start to see our country beyond just party and militarism. Let's start to see our country beyond just militarism. Where people can just stay, and politicize everything. Let's start to have these conversations. Those conversations that will lead us to having a country where we can say, listen, this country, we have to do this. We must do this. We must take this country to another level. We must do this. So we must reach that stage where we can stop saying to ourselves, we can take hand out for you, China. We rest, get our equipment, get us, some farming equipment, get our tractors, give us something that we will till the soil, turn the soil around, Then China get their machine that can plant the rice. You see the chapel, they can plant the rice. They got all those things. You can be asking them for that thing. You can be asking them for it and stop depending on just taking some rights from them, and some those rights, when we get them, they should be going to the disabled people. But at the end of the day, the very same government people take those rights to their homes. We got a very serious problem in this country, entrenched, and it's not just with a particular government, it's systemic. It is very systemic. It is a problem that has existed over the years for either more than a decade, or it has persisted over many times. We must get to a stage where we can start having those kind of conversations. I know some of you you'll not like the conversation when we start to beat on the doors of everybody in this country to be patriotic. Let's see, in Ghana, when elections are over, the Ghanaians unite. The Ghanaians unite. I remember I was doing a research and during the COVID, before I start to take course, the opposition in Nigeria, they donated to the government of their various countries to help fight Corona. And because it is not just the government that will just fight everything in the country now. We have, we know the government is always challenged. But if you're in opposition, help to have those kind of conversations where you can start to help the government where the government cannot reach. When elections are over in Ghana, the people unite to build their country. Today, go Ghana. This is the only country you travel over years to come back. You can't miss your horse road. If you're living way in the hood, if you're living way in the slum, you will still meet those same old horses you met there. You will still meet them there. Can we start having a new conversation? Yes, we can have a new conversation. Now, we'll take a few calls before we end the day. Yeah, Liberia. We'll take a few conversations and yes, let's activate the numbers. You can call and have your say on some of the issues we've spoken about. So those of you out of the country, the WhatsApp number is pinned. It's +231 886 681 198 is the WhatsApp number that is pinned for you. Yeah. So those of you locally, you are here in Liberia, you are in out of the counties, and you certainly want to be a part of the program. Of course, you can call us up on our hotlines 0772 758958. Again, 0772 758958. You can lay your thoughts on some of the very issues that we're about. 0886-393184 is the Loom Start number. 0886-393184 or 0772-758958. Let's see whether we take our first caller. Let's hear you. Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, my name is Jeremiah J. Cool. Jeremiah J. Cool from Broadway.
Oh, Jerry, what's up, my brother? Mr. Cole, what's up, brother?
Yeah, you know, I was just listening to you and you sound more patriotic.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. And these are the conversations we're going to be having in our country. And I appreciate the past our president for the truthful meeting. Pretty much you said for us who are political and a group of God to plan, and that we our father every way will know that kids will know the way. I'm not moving as politicians when they feel that they want to take. Reading about everything.
Of course. But Jerry, yeah, said you and I grew up together. We know what we went through. We know how we used to buy our late thing and how we used to buy it. You know, living almost in the same house. We used to buy one thing very cheap. You know, we buy our chicken feet, 5 for 5 chicken feet. You know, chicken feet grill. We used to buy it. You know, 5 for 5 today. So you see.
Yeah, we have to have things. Everyone you know, they got down the freezer. Yeah. So, we make that get good to go. Yeah, I can tell you.
Yeah.
Get good to the Bible. Because the Bible is they are lying. They want to make God a liar. Because out there at the end of the Testament, nature will rise up against nature.
We are doing it.
I have to be
Thank you so much, Jeremiah Cole, and I hope Joshua is doing perfect as well. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Jeremiah Cole. More of your calls 0772-758-958. You can lend your thoughts as well. 0886-393184. The numbers you can be a part of the program inside Liberia as we discuss those issues that matter to our country. We can't continue to have those insurance political things every time. We have to transcend. Our country is bigger than any political party. 0772-758958. You can have your thoughts or your say on some of the issues we just talked about. Or 0886-393184 are the numbers. Of course, you can just dial those numbers and then you'll be a part. Let's take this person. Good evening.
Hello?
Yeah, good evening. Let's hear you from Sonny Wayne.
People understand that when you want everything you want for the government to country, you can't go the way you buy the time. You can't for some kata to do where I made a church. This is now a million of dollars. But you don't want for government to country to kind of think you. I mean, that was you thing. So from Kora or express I live with you or but my brother will go over the time. To go on that side, suffering from who baby. The suffering but according to the government, let me suffer from no Nigerian. One day Nigeria to go to the photo, oh, Nigeria power, Nigeria go, Nigeria down. We are continuing to support Nigeria. All you government can you grab for it. So that's why you are still my brother. We want to do this for ourselves. Because the power and the cold water who can help ourselves.
Thank you so much. Your contribution is very, very, very good. Very good. Those are the kind of healthy conversations we need to start having for our country. If you have all these brilliant ideas to transform our country ourselves, That is why some of us we're not that particular about two political parties getting into bitter exchanges. No, we're not we're not in for that. We are in to see a country where our country can start to grow, when our citizens can work. Let me tell you something. I'll tell you somebody. I say, if Liberians can just get job, one Liberian man get job where at the end of the month he get $500 as his pay to take it. All a relative in America say you're not even to just say hello to them say will be happy, because when you go to work, you're so basic working. You will get time to call to be calling people in America. No, and because we less basic, so always even the people in America, the basic say we won't be calling them to say we just call to speak, but not calling to speak, it get something behind it. And, so but if you get a net $500 George, well, more ain't get a little $5, my brother. Yeah, after taxes and other things, they get a little $5. Good. You good. You'll not be calling people in America. You'll not be following them. When you're here, you call somebody in America. Oh, my hair to you. No. Let's continue to talk about those issues. 0772 758958. Again, 0772 758958. 0886 are the numbers you can call to be a part of the program. Let's continue to talk about our country in the most positive way. And that is the kind of healthy conversation that we must be having. Liberia can be the scene every time with the entrenched politics. People want to see two political parties face each other in a battle. No, we cannot go that route. We can't. Our country is bigger than that. Political actors should now start thinking on how they can start having innovative conversations around how we can start to bring in companies for people to work. And that's the only thing we can do. If people basically in the country, people working, if 90% of the citizens working, nobody will be thinking about protests, because you got to work out to go to work. If your company closed down, you will not get work. So you will not want to protest in a country that will scare the company you're working with for them to close down, because they close down, you don't have a job. So you always want to be to work. So all these things must happen, and they can only happen if we have this healthy conversation. Again, you can call us up on 0772 758958. Again, 0772 758958. And LUSA number is 0886 393184. Again, 0886 393184 is the Lone Star number, and you will be a part of the program. Let's hear you. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you? My name is Joe. My last name is Sandy.
Let's hear you.
No, what is the name of this station, sir?
This station is Kia Radio 95.9, Kia FM, KEAR, Kia Communications Network, Kia.
KFM?
Yeah,
KFM?
Kia FM, Kia, KEAR,
KFM, right?
KEAR, Kia.
KFM, okay.
Yeah, KEAR, Kia FM. We're right here on the UN Drive, opposite the barracks.
Okay. Because I'm not the boss of KFM. I was going to say, the issue, thank you for the argument. The talking about this country, also the speeches last in the hands of this government, the last election of this government. We need to look and see to stop making sure that the weather start the country. If you see come to power, you want to be angry. You are always wrong, and you want to be angry. You want to show also. Try to provoke other people. Let people, some people think that, why say that the former president gave respected the ECOWAS, and you working the ECOWAS, you did not restate, and you really state, and Kabila Jena, and what are speaking, and the national thing. But the Boga had the authority to really state, Kabila Jena. When you rather you accept other people, what they're crying about, while the former president did not restate the public opportunity, when he did not really appoint Kabila Jena, the people was there, the people were empty. So you see that the former president did respect the ECOWAS. While the former the present president who we said Kabila did it. So was this to support other thing that the former president they said listening to his spokesperson to look speaking and say, wow, you know you have the matter of authority in your name that you can really take Kabila did it. You don't know that from government continuity. So I don't really know the issue of them because we have a lot of issues on ground that we are living in. The issue continue to be running after all day. If one government spokesperson was going on radio station, he would not understand what the government has done for the past 8, 7 months now. They cannot leave one. The energy is because we are CDC. It's that going people are going to be suffering. Continue suffering. Let the government say very important issue and forget about CDC, CDC. The people elected in the region of the city is not in power. They elected them to stop the power of the Liberia people. Let them pay attention to the Liberia people that work for the Liberia people for you to suffer. The Liberia people for you to suffer. Let the president take extension of the Liberia people that for you to be going to be one party every day. Nothing else they can went through. Look at the RTC what the president promised. He said, no, hey, he laughed. Today, he just started the program, then he just go to go there for 10 more. Imagine, if it's for 10 days. Some are going to let RTC for digital program for 10 days. You register one of the people. That the provider begin for the people. I'm not going to have to go there for 10 days. Imagine that. You can't go to you still
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. You have your say. We can take others on the line 0772 758958 0886 393184 are the numbers you can call to be a part of the program. Inside Liberia on KFM 95.9. Of course, we are right here on the UN Drive opposite the BTC barrack and right adjacent the Radical Market. Of course, we are here 24/7 and giving you the very best that your radio has to offer. 0772 758958 0886 393184 are the numbers you can call to be a part of the program. Inside Liberia, let's talk about country Liberia in a positive way, and that is the only way we can achieve lasting development in our country and the way we can maintain the development we ought to maintain. We will soon climax. We have a few more minutes to end. If we can take 1 or 2 more calls, that would be good. If not, we will soon climax. 0772 758958. Again, 0772 758958 0886 393184 are the 2 numbers you can call to be a part of the program inside Liberia on Kia Radio, Kia Communications Network, Kia Radio 95.9. My name is Maurice Desmond, and of course, George Gue is my producer, and he's always around making sure that the sounds are perfect. That we are live on your screen. You can see us through the screen. Those in America can see us. Those in see us. Those in the part of the world you are, you can see us directly on your screen. Again, folks, it was a wonderful conversation, wonderful time being here. Tomorrow, same time, same station, we'll be back here to do what we love doing best, journalism, our passion, and we'll continue to inform our people on all of the issues happening in our country. Again, join us tomorrow for another healthy conversation when we'll be back with another wonderful, splendid presentation. Until then, love you all. Let's keep the peace of our country. I'm out of here to be back on tomorrow. Thanks to George Kwe, my able producer. And tomorrow, same team going to be back tomorrow to bring you the Wednesday's edition of the program inside Liberia on Kia Radio 95.9. Until then, have a wonderful time. Let's continue to love Liberia, sing Liberia, and save the state.